The brain inside your head is making decisions about you and your safety. And it's doing it without your permission, consent, or control. Kind of like me as a teenager. You can ask my dad. I did a lot without his permission, consent, and control. And it got me into trouble. And sometimes your brain can make decisions that can get you into trouble. If your brain makes a decision in the 95% of your unconscious that you are potentially in danger and in need of protection, if it comes to that conclusion based upon all of its credible evidence, it will serve with fierce devotion to protect you without your consent. And you can end up in a cycle, a vortex of pain, fear, worry, stress, anxiety, and tension, robbing you of the quality of your life. And you can end up like my patient this week. We'll call her April. Tuesday, she came in and she's still recovering from a flare-up 2 weeks ago. Her morning routine, 1, 2. On the third jumping jack, immediate muscle tension gripped her without her control, without her consent. An immediate searing pain kicked up, stopped her dead in the jumping jack track. And her first thought was, I don't want to be paralyzed. And I'm wondering in my head, why is a healthy 25-year-old woman, Pilates instructor, who had a car accident a year ago, worried about being paralyzed from 2.5 jumping jacks? I look at her and I said, do you know why you had that thought? I'm calm. April, eyes as big as saucers. Her muscles are tense. She's shaking. Her breath is about as deep as a baby pool for ants. And I asked her, do you realize what your body's doing right now? You're safe here in this room, nothing bad is happening. And yet you're telling me about something that happened 2 weeks ago, and your system's freaking out. And she says, oh yeah. And then the inner Miyagi in me is so proud of my student, who for the last 4 weeks had been training with me to recognize and self-regulate. She's in an upregulated state of tension. I watch her close her eyes, turn down the volume, and settle. She found her body, she found her breath. And while I watched to see what would happen next, she said, you know, I'm so overwhelmed and I use exercise to manage my stress. And I'm just so freaked out to exercise again because I don't want to hurt again. She said, it reminds me of when I was in the car accident. It was so scary. I had to take an Uber by myself to the hospital. And the doctor that I saw, she didn't even know the name of a muscle. She had to look it up on the computer. That didn't make me feel safer. And then she gave me a neck brace saying, I might be paralyzed. Wear this until you can go and get a CT scan to rule anything sinister out. So her brain heard, this pain means I could be paralyzed. And a year later, her brain, without her permission, consent, and control, is still remembering that thought and acting appropriately to protect her. Because who in here wants to be paralyzed? So her muscles are doing the job that the brain is telling her to do. And she's then creating, inadvertently, an ischemic situation, and her muscles aren't getting blood flow. It's kind of like my plants at home. I forget to give them water and they die. Your muscles don't want to die, so they send messages up to your brain. You're still in threat. And so she's in this vortex, brain to body, body to brain. And again, she noticed, found her breath, found her body, things relaxed, and then it emerged. She said, I didn't even think about what that doctor said and how it's still impacting me. And I've been so afraid to move. After she settled and that realization emerged, she said, I feel 1,000,000 times better. And I'm not afraid to move. And I think it'll be okay if I start exercising, because I don't think jumping jacks is going to paralyze me at this point anymore. And I was so pleased to see her. I said, does this make sense to you? And she said, yes, my brain is overprotective. It is fiercely devoted and committed to my protection and survival based upon a threat that I didn't even know I still had. And that's what our brain does. We have painful past learning experiences from conception till now, and our brain lodges them and remembers them and stores them in our body. So the correct answer always is Facebook squared. And I don't actually mean Facebook. I mean FB times 2. Find your body, find your breath. You can do it right now. If you find your body, you find your breath, you're cueing your brain for safety so that your healing can reemerge.